So it is my privilege, fellow Rotarians and guests, to introduce our district governor. Barbara is a native Californian. She grew up in the Bay Area, but ended up here in Sacramento. She has an undergraduate degree in mathematics from UC Davis, a master's in counseling from Sac State, and a doctorate of educational administration from the University of Pacific. After 22 years in education, in the classroom actually, she served as a high school vice principal, a district project director, and the principal of 3 schools. Guess how she runs her AG meetings. Yeah. Barbara loved work and says she had to do it all over again. She'd do the exact same thing. As a matter of fact, she still provides free tutoring in math for Fortune Schools of Education. But she's also been really active in Rotary. She served as her club president in the year 2007, 2008. She was the chair of RILA from 2008 to 2014. And she was a assistant governor from 2011 to 2015, and also served as a district assembly chair and the district conference chair, and also was part of the district leadership academy. She's a multiple Paul Harris Fellow, and a member of the Paul Harris Society, and a member of the Bequest Society, and a major donor. She's also participated in a wheelchair delivery program, and the Polio National Immunization Day, and delivered water filters in Brazil. Nowhere in here she talks about Jim, who was part of the greatest presidential class of Rotary 2010-11. Barbara and Jim have 3 children and 2 grandchildren between them. The one thing you probably don't know about Barbara is she's always been leading edge in technology. You know, people don't really realize this, but you know, when she was looking for a husband, she didn't use Match.com. No, she didn't use eHarmony. She put an ad in the paper. With that, please welcome Barbara Tracy.
Points of clarification. I was looking for a little social life, and so, and this was 25 years ago. I never do that nowadays. I'm scared to death, but no, I put an ad in the Sacramento Bee, and he answered, and guess what? The rest is history. Yeah. The other thing I want to say, Ray, I think you skipped a line in there. You said that I tutored for the Fortune School. Actually, I tutor on my own, and I tutor any kid who walks in the door free of charge in math. But I work for the Fortune School, and I help train teachers so that they develop the skills they need to be successful in the classroom. So there's another line in there, but that's okay. I want to make sure that you all know Jim. Because we mentioned, many of you already know him, but this is literally a partnership, and this is my wonderful partner over here. He had a little bit of a difficult time trying to decide what to call himself. You know, I'm only the 2nd female district governor in this district. And so when he had this problem, he went to Steve Lemon, who was the first male spouse of a district governor, and said, Steve, what do I call myself? And Steve said, well, you can do what I did. Call yourself a Sherpa. Which has some truth to it. And Jim said, I don't do that. You've already done that, that's old. He went to the next person, and the next person said, well, call yourself God. God? Yeah, governor's official driver. He said, well, I don't know, I don't think I can deal with that one either. Well then, turn it around, call yourself Dog. Driver of the governor. I don't bark and I don't have 4 legs. So then he asked the next person, and he was told to call himself First Dude. He said, that's old, that's been used before. So he kept thinking, and for a while he came up with ESP. Executive staff person. But then he thought, well, that's not really exciting, that's so boring. He really wanted something that fit, so he landed on something else. And you probably wonder why he's been wearing this funky badge. Boy, his wife didn't have enough funds to buy him a nice badge. Well, he didn't want you to know what he calls himself until now. But he is truly the DG's detail man. He picks up all the pieces after me and helps keep me on my toes. This is Jim, Tracy, my husband. I need to turn this on. There we go. Okay, the two people that you see up there in that picture are two very important people in Rotary. The one on your left is John Jr. He is the current RI president. He's out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And he's got an engineering background. Been around for a long time in Rotary. But he is really passionate about Polio Plus. Why? Because his father was diagnosed with polio as an adult. He contracted it, and they told him basically that he would never walk again. He said, oh yes, I will. So he concocted a pulley, hung a rope over the top of, I don't know what it was, but he put an old-fashioned iron on one end, and he stuck his ankle on the other end, and he kept pulling it up and down, strengthening that leg. And he did walk again. John said he always had a limp, but he did walk again. He was chair of the International Polio Committee for a while. He also has a fond memory in my background. The first time I ever saw John was at the Montreal International Convention, where we were honoring Dolly Parton for all the work that she's done in literacy. And so to honor her, they decided that Rotary decided that it was going to give her a Paul Harris. And John did the presentation and had the task of pinning the pin on Dolly. I won't say anymore. What you see at the bottom is John's theme for the year. He wanted something simple that said it all. You all should have a pin at this point that illustrates the year, but his theme is Rotary Serving Humanity. Oops, wrong way. I too have a theme for my year, and that is feel the power. I don't want you to read about it. I don't want you to see it. I want you to feel it in your gut. And this is very personal to me because I've been a Rotarian for several years, but it was when we went on our first wheelchair delivery in Peru that I truly became a Rotarian. When you see the conditions under which some people have to live, and there's a lot of you in this room that have had similar experiences, so I really feel like I'm preaching to the choir. But an international experience is very special. And Jim and I have had the good fortune to be on 3. For those of you that have not had that opportunity, you're going to have some this year according to your board, so I would encourage you, if at all possible, to participate in one of those. But my pin, and you should find one on your table. If you don't see one, we've got some extras, but there should be some sitting on the table for you. Feel the power of Rotary. That's tied to one of the focal areas that I have. I have 5 different areas that I want to emphasize. And one of them is broadening, expanding every Rotarian's vision of what Rotary is. This club is different, but there are clubs in this district where no one in the club has been outside the club. Now, that's not saying your club doesn't do wonderful stuff, because your club, as well as a lot of others, do great things in this community. But you really don't feel the power of Rotary until you branch out. So I'm really focused on getting people to branch out into other clubs, see what other clubs are doing. You pick up some wonderful ideas from visiting another club and just watching what goes on. You can bring ideas back. They can help liven up your own club. You guys don't seem to need it. But you can bring some ideas back that you can share, that you can adopt and adapt to meet the needs of your club. You can also get a lot of validation for what you're doing by watching what other clubs are doing. One of the things that's in the awards packet this year is what I call a visitation day. You cancel your meeting for the week, and then all of us go out and visit another club. Not the same club, different clubs. Go out and visit another club that you've never been to. Doesn't have to be on a Monday night. Can be any time during the week that fits into your schedule. Maybe it's a lunch meeting. Maybe it's you get up early and go to a breakfast meeting. You and Point West have a lot in common. There's energy from the moment you walk in this room. I would really suggest if you've never been to a Point West meeting, you want to see something that's in your same zone, go visit Point West. They're fun to see. Maybe for you, it means going to a district assembly. Maybe you've never been to a district assembly. That's the picture you see down there on the left. There are some people in the center picture that maybe you recognize. That's our wheelchair delivery from 2009, and people are standing around there learning how to put wheelchairs together. And then on the right, which is pretty small from the distance that some of you are looking at it, that is a picture that was taken this year in Seoul, Korea, where visitors were all encouraged to wear the traditional dress of their home country. And so you see some incredible dress there as people are modeling, great groups of people wandering around and sharing their culture. Maybe for you it means going to your first district conference. That's broadening your vision of Rotary. And maybe for you it means going to your first international convention. We're lucky, the international convention this year will be held in Atlanta, Georgia. And so I would encourage you, this is the least expensive that it's going to be for years because it goes back out of the United States after this. And it's also the 100th anniversary of the foundation, which we'll talk about in a minute. If you have the opportunity, go to Atlanta, June 10th through 14th next year. We'll have a great group of people. I know that I've already talked to Karen, and she says there's a bunch of you that are already planning to go. So add to those numbers. Another goal, Polio Plus. Let's get this job done. We're so close. The most recent count says that we have 19 cases this year, 13 in Pakistan and 6 in Afghanistan. I'd love to see 0. But keep in mind that after we get to that 0, we still have to keep immunizing for 3 years because it takes 3 years for the 0 to be certified. So let's get this job done. People keep saying, well, what are we going to do after we get through with polio? There's a lot of talk about that. I don't know what it's going to be, but nobody wants to talk about that in final terms because they want to make sure the focus stays on getting rid of polio. Those are pictures. You'll see John Stokes up there on the left picture. He's from Roseville. He was part of the immunization team that we had in 2014. And you'll see Jim down here in the right corner. Membership is a huge issue. I know that you lost 12 members last year. I'm sure that that's disappointing to all of you. And Ray over here, who spends his life worried about membership, is a member of your club. We have got to turn this thing around. We expected last year to be a positive year with a brand new Passport Club and a brand new club in Twin Rivers. But no, it wasn't. We ended up losing members. So we've got to turn it around again. And so the question is, what can we do to make that happen? The Council on Legislation met in April and talked about flexibility. They removed a lot of the barriers that are keeping people from staying with or joining Rotary in the first place. I don't know how familiar you are. Many of the barriers have been put in memos and distributed. There's things like gone is the classification system. It doesn't matter how many lawyers you have in your club. Well, it may matter to you, but that's a lawyer. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many insurance people. That used to be a big thing with Rotary. That's gone. The frequency of meetings. For some clubs, maybe meeting weekly is not the thing. I think that's a little dangerous if you cut it back because when you're doing as many projects as this club is doing, you need to be together on a regular basis. But for some clubs, that may work. Also, attendance. A club gets the right to decide what its attendance requirements are going to be instead of having that dictated from Rotary. So you get the opportunity to decide what you want that to be. Initiation fees. Gone. Out of the Constitution, model Constitution. Some clubs have that, but that's a barrier for people coming into Rotary in some cases. There's a membership card on your table there. Please take one and put it in your wallet and show it to others as a proud Rotarian. There's 3 parts to membership, and I know Ray has talked about all of these. The first one is attraction, and you certainly have a lively club, so if you can get people here in the first place, I think you'll find it easy to attract people, because it has to be something that's exciting. You're active, you're involved in a lot of different things, and that's real positive. But once you get them in, how do you get them engaged? Do they get involved right away? Do we overload them with so much stuff that they don't know what's going on? After all, we hit them with things like RYE and PDG and RILA and all those acronyms that really are confusing to a brand new Rotarian. Do we give them too much to do in addition to all of the things they need to learn about Rotary? We don't want to scare them off before they ever get started. And then finally, retention. When someone is about to leave, I had this happen in my own club. Someone has to leave because she's going to school in Southern California. Don't just let them walk out the door. We have passport clubs sitting out there. That's not the answer to everything, but it certainly provides a way to keep people connected. Maybe this person I was talking about will go off to school and join a club in the area where her school is. Maybe she'll stay in Passport for a while until she comes back to Sacramento. Maybe, who knows what her future holds. But we're keeping her connected to Rotary, which is a critical piece. Because once they leave Rotary and they have no connection with Rotary, the chances of their coming back are much less than if they stay connected in some way. And being a member of Passport Club will keep that connection going. There's a membership seminar scheduled for August 13th, put on by one of your favorite Rotarians, Mr. Ray Ward. So I would invite you. It's at the Ramada on Auburn Boulevard. If you're interested in how you can go after new members and how you can keep them here and work with them, please attend that. Fourth goal. Celebrate the foundation. This is the 100th anniversary of the foundation. And front row, would you come up here, please? I know you know where to come up here, but I want you Oh, then I can see that you're one of the more popular members of the club.
Exactly.
Fred, I have something special for you. Each of the foundation chairs, which is your role this year, is receiving, and you may already have one of these. If you have one, you can gift it to somebody else. Okay. I'm going to give you a very special 100th anniversary centennial.
Ooh, wow. You may need a new shirt.
I don't want to receive it. I'm holding it.
Oh, do it.
Stick it to him.
Right on your forehead.
I think they're happy as long as I don't get the microphone.
So I heard talk about things that you're doing for the 100th, and I would challenge you to think of other special things that you can do to celebrate the 100th anniversary. Bob Deering and his committee are continuing with the $1 Million Challenge. What that means is that they're hoping that when we get through this, that we will have an additional $1 million, not necessarily all at this time, but through Bequest Society, through benefactors, through additional gifts to the foundation in whatever shape and form, that we reach $1 million. But the other thing that's going on, and some of you have heard about this, and those of you who went to the seminar on Saturday know what I'm talking about. They wanted something big. I don't know how much you know about sex trafficking, but did you know that California is one of the hotbeds for sex trafficking, and that Sacramento is one of the major areas? It all goes on, we don't even know anything about it. But what we found in doing a little bit of research is, first of all, that there's 54 agencies in the Sacramento area that are all doing their own thing. And of course, they're all vying for the same pot of money, so they don't talk very much to each other. There is some collaboration, but it's minimal when it comes down to looking at the total numbers here. The proposal that Bob and Brian Gladden, who's heading this up, are working on has two prongs to it. The first is a preventative prong. Most of these young people that get into sex trafficking are 11, 12, 13 years of age. Can you believe that? I went to a club the other day and met somebody who was involved in one of the nonprofits, and she said that their youngest one was 4. Can you imagine? Anyway, there's a huge need in Sacramento for a clearinghouse, for an assessment center. And so Brian and Bob and this committee that's getting bigger by the day is working with not only the agencies that are there, but also with places like Dignity Health, with law enforcement, and with other organizations to look at the needs of an assessment center, where this assessment center would be a place where when somebody is rescued out of trafficking, they're brought in there and they take a look at the whole person. They look at their physical needs, they look at their emotional needs, they look at their psychological needs, they look at their physical needs. They do a complete workup, and there may be a need for that person to be housed for a period of time at the assessment center so that while the workup is being done. And then they make a recommendation. It may not be a good thing for that person to be reunited with the parents, especially if their parents were the ones that sold them into that position in the first place. And that happens in a lot of foreign countries. They sell their kids. It may not be a place to put them in a group home. What kind of support are they going to need? Well, anyway, that's what's going on at the assessment center. And then hopefully we'll be able to find the best pathway for that person to get back to some sense of normalcy in their life. That's actually the second phase. The first phase is a preventative one, as I started to talk about and got sidetracked there. The first phase is preventative. There's an organization in El Dorado Hills called 3 Strands, and she was a speaker on Saturday. She came and talked about what they're doing in order to let kids at vulnerable age know what to look for. You know, how do you spot somebody who's out looking to make you into a victim? Most of the kids that become victims are vulnerable in some state in the first place. You're aware of that, probably. But, you know, if you can get them to be knowledgeable and know what to look for and be able to walk away, we've got a shot at saving some kids before they ever get into that position. So it's educational, hopefully in the schools, in the middle schools, maybe even younger, maybe as young as 5th grade, so that these kids know what to watch out for and can avoid being a victim in the first place. Foundation seminars scheduled for October the 8th. So if you want to know more about this, as well as what other pieces of the foundation, plan to attend that. Registration will be available very soon. Foundation dinner is on October the 22nd. Last year's Rotary on the red carpet was so popular that this year they're going to do Rotary on the red carpet take 2. And then finally, John Jerem will be in Sacramento on May 20th. It's very, very rare that you have a sitting president in your city during his year as president. So put May 20th on your calendar right now and plan to attend that. You've already heard Karen talking about the big picnic that's coming up. I hope you'll consider coming to that. We've got 2 options. You can buy your food, or you could just bring your own food and pay a minimal price of $7. We do have to cover the cost of the park, the cost of security. It's not ourselves we're worried about, but whenever you have a large crowd of people, you want to make sure that you've got adequate security to cover it. Also, we're going to have things like Bounce House. You've heard that Bob Mutchler will be here with his band of doctors. It's really crazy. You know, Bob Mutchler and his band of doctors playing some music for us. And a lot of other pieces. Will have plenty of shade for those of you that would prefer just to sit around and drink and talk. Another thing that I'm looking at, I actually picked this idea up in Seoul, Korea, when I was at the International Convention. It's something that I call, for lack of a better name, Rotary Kids. We're all trying to attract young professionals to our clubs, and you have some really go-getters in your group of young professionals. But, you know, many times young professionals their focus is on their kids. They've got young kids. They can't turn around and come to an event without worrying about whether they're going to have a babysitter or who's going to stay home. The female member of the house, if it's the male, it's the Rotarian, can't come. So I'm looking for a way that everybody can participate. So what Rotary Kids is a loosely connected group of young Rotarian families from throughout the district that come together as a family. You come, you bring your spouse, you bring your kids, and you do projects together, projects that are appropriate for young kids as well as adults. And you also do fellowship together. Maybe you all go to the zoo together or something like that. But think about it, what a wonderful way that would be to teach the kids the values of Rotary. To prepare kids for Rotary, maybe for Interact and Rotaract as they get older. What a wonderful way to make them feel comfortable when they go to Rotary events, like the district conference, where sometimes they don't want to participate because they don't know anybody. But if they were part of Rotary Kids, then they know other kids and they might feel much more comfortable. There's just lots of possibilities there. So I'm looking for some young people who have families, young families, children under the age of 12, that might like to help structure that. I don't want to structure it. I haven't had kids under the age of 12 for a lot of years now. But those people who deal with that on a daily basis know what the needs are. So if you have members in this group that would like to be a part of that, come together with other people that have young kids and figure out what that's going to look like. I don't want it to be a burden. It needs to be something that enhances your Rotary experience. I want to make one presentation. I asked Karen to give me the name of somebody that really needs to be recognized for the work he or she is doing. And Jerry Beck, will you come up here, please? My understanding that Jerry is Miss Volunteer 2016 and 2017. She not only has 2 of your major projects, but she also volunteers. Somebody was talking about saying the word no. Was that you, Fred?
Somebody just say.
This lady doesn't know how to say no either. So anyway, I'd like to present you with the Hands That Serve, Hearts That Care Award.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Jerry shared something with me tonight I didn't know, and that was that she came to our Rotary Club as a speaker way back in 2000. We couldn't try to figure
Probably
out.
about 7 or 8 years ago on a project in Uganda.
Yeah, she was sharing with that, and she didn't even know anything about Rotary, and she and I connected there, and it was that event that led her to become a Rotarian. So, I forgot my slides. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. There's the family of Rotary. And of course, there's the Atlanta Convention, and I hope that you'll all come. It's going to be very special because it will be a celebration of the 100th anniversary. Okay, and then I hope that you'll all join us in Santa Clara, May 5th through 7th. We've never been to Santa Clara for a district conference before. This is the first time. And Santa Clara is in the middle of everything. We're half a mile from Great America, so if you have teenagers, bring your teenagers. They'd love to go to Great America. Spend the whole day there. We're going to take a side trip to Levi Stadium on Saturday afternoon. For those of you that have never seen the museum there, that's a great opportunity. We're going to do a side trip to the Rosicrucian Museum in San Jose. One of our speakers is going to be Bubba Paris. Do you know who Bubba is? Those of you that are sports enthusiasts, especially football fans. He's a former 49er who's now a motivational speaker. I'm working on a few others. We're going to spend Friday night at the Winchester Mystery House. I don't know how many, everybody I talk to says, I've either never been there or I was there when I was 10. So plan down May 5th through 7th. And to help you know a little bit more about this, Ray, you wanted me to give you a signal. Well, now is the signal. Is this thing on?
Yeah. Hey, could I get some help here? A bellhop? Someone, anyone.
Okay, let's go.
How do you plan to pull off this great conference?
Well, it takes a lot of people. It takes a lot of organization, a lot of people, and people who are willing to follow through. And if that all falls together, we should be in good shape.
Well, would you say it takes an organized person?
Very much an organized, detailed person.
What do you mean the presidential suite is no longer available? Do you know what she'll do to me if we don't get the presidential suite? Fine. We'll book at the Santa Clara Marriott instead. It's a much better hotel. Good day, sir. I said good day.
So what is the focus for this conference?
Well, first of all, we're going to have fun. That's number one rule of Rotary, right? Fun.
Hey, you promised me 5 phones and you only sent 4. What is this anyway? You'll do what? An international dance act? I'll tell you what, you throw in SF6, the a cappella group we saw, and we've got a deal. Fine. Shoo.
That's number one.
Shoo.
So, what are you bringing to this conference that's going to be different or special?
Well, first of all, we're going to be in the heart of the Silicon Valley. We're going to be in Santa Clara. Yes, right in the middle of everything. You know, you're half a mile from Levi Stadium, you're a half a mile from California, Great America. Lots of things within driving distance. The tech scene down there, you can check out that.
No. We want to go to the Winchester Mystery House in winning Levi's, not see a winning game at Levi Stadium. Everyone knows if you want to see winning at Levi Stadium, you have to go to the museum. No.
Excellent. And so you said you wanted to bring an international player. You know, what made you decide to bring this international player to the conference? Is there anything specific that's happened?
Definitely. Jim and I have had the pleasure and the joy on 3 international trips. We did a polio immunization project in India. We did a wheelchair delivery in Peru. And then we're part of the water filter distribution project that we did down in Brazil about a year ago. So we're just, you know, we had such a great time and we were so moved. It's really an emotional experience. So we want other people to have that opportunity.
In talking with you, you seem so at ease, you seem so relaxed, and this conference is eminent, but yet you're completely calm and relaxed. How do you stay so calm?
I have a lot of good people working behind the scenes, taking care of things. You know, if you've got good people and you delegate, no problem. Right?
Right.
Appreciate it.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. Oh, by the way, be a dear. Take care of Jim. He's got a lot to do today. Thank you. Whoa, wow, look
Are you
at
ready?
you. Wow. Yeah, let's go. Okay, see you in Santa Clara. That's Mike Renero's creativity. Some of you know Mike well, know that's typical. So it looks fun doing that. We are going to start a little bit early on Friday. Hopefully we can get a tour schedule from the tech companies maybe around 10 o'clock on Friday morning, give you a chance to get down there without getting up in the middle of the night, and then have some kind of a lunch there for those who can be there, and then starting with an actual session before the plenary session at 3. So hopefully we'll see you in Santa Clara, and we'll have a good time. Now I'm going to bring Jim up here because he wants to tell you something special he's going to do, other than run around and put stuff and take care of stuff.
No. Hey, what's the first rule of Rotary? Have fun, and I want you to show me your club having fun. Did you know that in this month's Rotary magazine, there's a list of 10 reasons to love Rotary right now, and number 9 is because science says Rotarians are happier and healthier, and I want to see your club demonstrate that for me. We're having a little photo contest. Those of you who have been to Ryle might recognize those on the left as typical Ryle students having fun. And it's just an example of things that you can do. But you know, Rudy can really be a part of what you're doing here. And there are the Flat Rudy's back there that the Swiss Miss has got when you leave. But look in the current month's Rotary newsletter, the district newsletter that's going to be coming out. It'll be in your email within the next 24 hours probably. And there's a listing of rules, or basic little guidelines for what you need to do. Each club can submit up to 2 pictures, and I'm sure you can coordinate this to get something that will show your club having fun. And I just have one other thing. I just want to thank those of you who served as sergeants at arms at the district conference. And Beth and I are plotting on changing the name from Sergeant at Arms to something a little more friendly. But in the meantime, they're Sergeant at Arms, and there's a roster. You had 5 or 6 people who signed up and served the district conference. I want to thank you for that. And Barb's asking to spearhead putting together a roster of people who are willing to serve from time to time, so that whoever is the Sergeant at Arms chair at those district events doesn't have to start from scratch, but can make some strategic phone calls, and people have the opportunity to say yes or no. That's all I've got. Thank you.
And that's it, folks. So hopefully we'll see you around a lot this year.